I think it is a fair point, right, that President Trump is going to have to deal with. There will be cases coming forward in the federal government and in the private sector where there is real discrimination.
Well, of course not.
Yeah, you know, I think that's why we had the civil rights era, and we should be enforcing our laws, because any discrimination on the basis of race or sex is wrong. We went through an entire era. We have celebrated the leaders of that era for getting those laws on the books. And then a bunch of privileged kids from elitist schools came through and decided they didn't do a good enough job with those laws. And actually, we need these onerous policies to guilt people at work, and to then actually create a new form of racism and say, we're going to set these hiring quotas all over corporate America. And as long as it's something that's hurtful to white people, it's okay. And I have a problem with that. I'm Latino, and I don't want a special step up or leg up from the U.S. government or from anybody else in order to get a job. I want to achieve it on merit, not because I was able to check a box for a company. And frankly, I think the whole thing is bigotry of low expectations. The whole idea behind DEI, the premise of it is that on equal footing, you can't get a job versus a white person well enough, so you need to have an extra special leg up. And I think that's disgusting. I think everybody's capable of competing, and I want to compete and achieve things on merit.
So, CK, if we're gonna try to get to a common understanding here, though, and I think that there has to be something that comes out of this. How do we get to a point where, going forward, if you believe so much in DEI, which I think you do, and they're sincerely held beliefs, that's fine. How do you all rebrand something that has been so defined now, and that so many people are so angry about in so many ways?
Well, so many people are angry about it, but there are so many people that are not angry about it. It's you either...
Hold on. Hold on. Don Lemon, of all people, says it's a religion, and if you don't subscribe to it, you get kicked out of the church. That is a branding problem, if nothing else, is it not?
Well, that's one perspective. That's one perspective. You can't sit here and say everybody thinks it is. Obviously, everybody doesn't think it's a bad thing. Do I think it's a bad thing to completely, systemically eliminate it from every branch of federal government and corporate America as well? I do. I don't think that's a solution. I think it's going to backfire, because fundamentally...
How's it going to backfire? I'm going to give you the last word. How's it going to... Hold on. I'm going to give you the last word. How does it backfire?
Let me finish. And you have to remember, affirmative action DI was created when you have qualified candidates. That's the premise. Qualified candidates.
And it was totally blown up into something totally different. No, you're not entitled to your own facts. You're entitled to your own opinion. I'm going to give you the last word if you want it on this topic. How does it backfire?
It's going to backfire because basically there are just as many people who think that this step to eliminate DEI is a bad thing as there are people thinking that it's a good thing. There's got to be a compromise. Draconian and drastic steps like this do not usually result in what is intended to result in. So I think that because if there were a movement in this country to completely abolish it and eliminate it, then we might not have the divisive country that we have. People need to come together. There is a solution, but eliminating DEI, preventing people from, and firing people who say the words, firing people from those positions is not the solution. And by the way, let's talk about athletics. Wait, let's talk about athletics.
Hold on. You've got the, hold on.
We're not talking about that in athletics.
Okay, I've given you the last word. I've given you the last minute and a half. Americans, this poll I'm going to tell you is actually helpful to your argument. Harris Axios Vibe survey, 41% of those surveyed said they support efforts to roll back diversity initiatives. The majority, 59%, Robby, either oppose those efforts or are unsure about them. Okay, Robby, you all are getting what you fought for. There's no question about that. How do you prove to Americans they're better off with it?
Well, first of all, those same polls said that Kamala Harris or Hillary Clinton were going to be president, and we saw how well that worked out for them. So I think the polling's wrong because in real life, people are celebrating this. Secondarily, what she said is just patently untrue. DEI is not about putting people with the same qualifications in this place and say, okay, let's have the best one in the interview win. That's not how it works. The reality is I'm Latino, and I'm going to tell everybody the truth. If my kid goes into a college and they check a box that says they're Latino and they have a lower test score than a white applicant applicant or an Asian applicant, they have a better chance of getting into that school, even after the Supreme Court ruling. And the data bears that out to be true. You can have your own opinions, but not your own facts. And the data bears out that what I'm saying is true. And the same thing in job interviews. My kid would be given preferential treatment by checking a box that says Latino over a white applicant. That is wrong, and it is racist, and it should not be allowed in the United States of America.
Thanks for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.